First tonight, a 19-year-old young man is dead tonight after police say he was gunned down while walking to his residence. Plus, the attempted arson of the Abaco Hurricane Shelter and Community Center raising questions about recent fires on the island. The Central and South MP is condemning the heinous crime. And later, we are one day away from celebrating the fathers and father figures that make a difference. Our Candino Knowles fills us in on how dads in Grand Bahama are being celebrated. The details on these stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. The sounds of gunshots echoing throughout the Winder Terrace neighborhood last night as a shooting incident claimed the life of a 19-year-old man. Police need your help locating the occupants of a light-colored Japanese vehicle used in the deadly incident. Our Danielle Miller was on the scene and tells us more.
Police tells us it was shortly after 10:45 p.m. when ShotSpotter technology alerted them to the scene just off East Street South. They discovered the teen's lifeless body in the street in front of a residence with multiple gunshot wounds. As police carried out their initial investigations, residents of the area watched from a distance, in some moments triggering responses of intense emotions. Press liaison, Chief Superintendent Sharia King, unable to provide much details on the scene.
The victim was walking home on Gilgard Street when the occupants of a Japanese vehicle exited and opened fire on the victim, fatally shooting him. As officers continue to investigate and probe into this matter, gathering evidence and intelligence into this matter, we are asking the general public, if you have any information into this latest shooting, latest homicide, please contact our police officers at our stations, at CID, to provide that information to assist us in our investigation.
Chief Superintendent King could not confirm if the victim had a history with police, but she makes this appeal to all men watching.
Find a means to resolve your conflict. But I also would like to say that though one homicide is one too many, I'd like to point out that our homicide rate for 2025 is down compared to 2024. And so it shows that our officers are out there working diligently and committed to the strategies that the Royal Bahamas Police Force continues to put in place. And so for the males, we are urging you, we are encouraging you to find a better means to resolve your conflict.
And just yesterday, officer in charge of the Eleuthera Division, Superintendent Franklin Neely, assuring residents there that despite the recent wave of shootings on that island, Eleuthera remains a safe place to live, work, and play. The press liaison echoing those sentiments for all islands across the country.
The dedication of our officers is not New Providence-centric. It is the Bahamas-centric. So our officers in Eleuthera are dedicated and will continue to carry out the mandate of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The mandate isn't different. Not in New Providence, not in Eleuthera, not in Abaco. The mandate remains the same, and our officers will continue to carry out that mandate and continue to investigate and bring closure to these matters. Because like I said, one homicide is one too many.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Well, a shocking and disturbing incident overnight on the island of Abaco as police discovered an act of attempted arson committed within the Abaco Hurricane and Community Shelter. While police are still investigating this incident, we spoke to Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco, John Pinder, who calls the incident deeply, deeply concerning.
And it's most unfortunate that some bad apples can go and try to destroy something that we need most desperately. It also brings to mind that the enormous amount of forest fires that we've had recently and ongoing even now, that maybe some of those were vandalized, were arson as well. but the vandalization of the hurricane shelter is deeply concerning. I know the police will do their full investigation, and I hope they bring whoever's responsible to the full force of the law. This cannot stand. We cannot have people putting Abaco's progress backwards.
Now, Pinder is sharing this bit of information on the arson incident.
I don't have the complete report in front of me. However, I do know that it was broken into. There was a fire started on the inside, but luckily with the high quality fire retardant materials that had been used, it wasn't able to spread. However, if these materials were not used, we would have serious damage. But it definitely was started on the inside. It was an act of arson, and again, I'm looking for the police to do a full investigation and find the culprits involved.
Back in March, Prime Minister Philip Davis assured residents that the shelter would be ready in time for this hurricane season, adding that while the project was originally budgeted at $1.4 million, it has since ballooned to $4 million. However, in May, Minister responsible for disaster risk management, Leon Lundy, admitted that it would not meet the June 1st start. Now, 2 weeks into the season, Pinder says residents are on high alert.
Abaco is the number one hit for major hurricanes in this part of the world, and we are always on high alert. But statistically speaking, we have been spared for this is 6 years now, and usually we get on average every 3.5 years. So we are on extra alert. We do have regularized meetings with all the departments to make sure that we are ready in case something comes our way, and we will be vigilant as we always are.
Meantime, the Disaster Risk Management Authority, in a statement confirming that the site contractor discovered that an individual had entered the Abaco Community Center through the rear door. The perpetrator defaced several interior walls and doors with spray paint. They scattered insulation material across the floor and attempted to ignite it, but the insulation is fire retardant and self-extinguished quickly. Initial assessments indicate no significant fire damage to the structure. Now, the center remains under construction, and the initial evaluation suggests this incident should not significantly delay the progress. As a safeguard, additional security measures are being implemented at the site. Managing Director Aaron Sargent adds that, quote, international donors largely funded this shelter, and it stands to be the first in a series of purpose-built shelters across our islands designed to address the critical shelter gaps we have identified and to keep Bahamians safe. Acts like this reflect poorly on our nation in the eyes of our international partners and risk jeopardizing future support, end quote. Now, the matter is currently under investigation by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. $40,000 in tax exemptions. That's what Bahamians could soon qualify for as government prepares to roll out a budget aimed at boosting home construction. Housing Minister Keith Bell says the plan includes incentives for small contractors and a major push to redevelop inner city communities. Delvado Emmanuel has that story.
$40,000 in tax breaks. That's the maximum incentives Bahamians could receive if they're looking to build their own home, according to Housing Minister Keith Bell. Speaking to reporters outside of the House of Assembly on Wednesday, Bell says the government is making a major investment in the housing sector through the upcoming budget.
We're giving concessions to you if you wish to build your own home, or as a small contractor if you want to build a number of homes. If you want to build 5 or more homes, you get special concessions, as well as you get major tax breaks.
The exemptions cover a range of building materials, including shingles, plywood, plumbing, electrical items, and more, all intended to lower construction costs, Bell said.
As the Minister of Housing, I have a complete exemption on building materials, and that is why we're able to bring the cost of construction down.
Bell is also encouraging small and large contractors to take advantage of the incentives and engage in public-private partnerships.
And so I want to, again, invite the small businessmen as well as the contractors to come in, let us sit and talk. We have an open door policy.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Well, there is a new non-profit organization in town focusing on promoting the country's scientists and citizens that are doing incredible work in the field, both locally and internationally. The Bahamas Academy of Science officially launching Friday evening, and our Danielle Miller was there.
The Bahamas Academy of Science sets out on a mission to recognize and promote excellence in science and its use in decision-making processes. Rigorously working behind closed doors since 2023, the Academy celebrated their official launch on Friday evening at the Balmoral Club. The room filled with the country's best and brightest minds in their respective fields. President of the Academy, Dr. Krista Sherman, says one of their goals is to act as a network hub for scientists that are eager to contribute to national development and growth.
We really want to bring all those sciences together, but also connect them with scientists that are doing work internationally, so we can better tackle some of the issues that are impacting our society.
Although the nonprofit is in its early stages, Dr. Sherman says they've already acquired a strong membership.
The Academy consists of about 17 individuals, so we have 12 full members. So these are individuals that are actively involved in research, actively publishing. The research is internationally recognized. We also have about 5 contributors. So these are individuals that are on the pathway to that, and they're making significant progress and contributions in their fields.
She shares this information for anyone interested in joining the Academy.
If you can visit our website, we have established criteria, and that's all fairly transparent. So a certain number of publications that are peer-reviewed and internationally accepted. We also consider people's contributions to society, their contributions in their respective fields, whether it's math, engineering, social science, marine science. So all of that is factored into the decision whether or not to accept a member into the Academy.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
When our news weekend comes back from the break, today is World Blood Donor Day, and residents here in the capital are answering the call to save lives. We'll tell you all about the successful initiative right after this quick break.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
Today, countries around the world are celebrating World Blood Donor Day, a day established to raise awareness for the need for safe blood and blood products, as well as to say thank you to those that unselfishly donate. The Public Hospitals Authority partnering with several organizations to commemorate the day locally, hosting a blood drive at the Mall at Marathon with a goal of securing 30 pints of blood. Shortly before 2 p.m., they achieved that target. Deputy Director of Communications at the Public Hospitals Authority, Deshante Small, tells us the annual event aims to educate the public on the importance of doing their part to save lives.
I know you've seen it on social media, but you see an increase of people asking for blood, so we wanted to explain to people why that's happening. The second thing was we wanted to particularly focus on the need for blood donations in maternal health. Why a mother who's expecting would need donations after she's given birth, if she had a C-section. And so again, just arming our people with more education.
Small says the country's blood bank supply often fluctuates, and in instances where it's desperately low, it could mean the loss of a loved one, something donor Stephanie Brennan is all too familiar with. She shares her personal experience that led her to not only become a donor, but a staunch advocate for blood donations.
I am very passionate. I lost a daughter-in-law because of the lack of blood, and I just lost a brother. But me losing my brother, he needed blood. Our family is very small, so the drive in getting people to come out and donate blood was very, very hard. So if you are part of something like this, I don't mind, like combing the mall and asking people to come and donate blood, because I know how very important it is for us to donate blood today.
Well, still to come on Our News Weekend, a long-standing Grand Bahama business is showing a little extra love to fathers in the second city. Our Candino Knowles is on the island and he fills us in. But first,
a Bahamian NBA prospect looks to improve his draft standings, and we have the latest updates from the Diamond. We have all that and more coming up in just a moment on our Sports Weekend.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good evening, welcome to our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. The Swimming National Championships are scheduled for next week, and executives from the Bahamas Aquatics Federation are still putting the final touches on the final local swim meet of the season. Our Sasha Lightborn spoke to the Secretary General.
The 53rd Annual National Swimming Championships are set for next week, beginning on June 19th. Over 500 swimmers are scheduled to participate during the four-day meet. And with only a few days left, I asked Bahamas Aquatics Federation Secretary General Georgette Albury what's left to be done.
There's still a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work in the background from the technical side. From the technical side, we are preparing as we are going live this year, and we're so happy to be going live with Rev. It's still a lot on the technical side. Things like fine-tuning the psych sheet, making sure that the entries look right, making sure that we receive all of the entries, making sure the times are all lined up before we release the psych sheet. The coordination of our teams. We have international teams coming in, and they want to be able to swim in the pool, an opportunity to swim in the competition pool before competition day. So it's organizing them, coordinating with the NSA to make sure that they can have some pool time.
There will also be swimmers from 6 different countries participating at the meet.
From different countries, from the United States, like you mentioned, Howard University is coming with some of their swimmers. Coach Nick is here to also scope out some of our swimmers. And then we have countries like Mexico, Cayman, all the way from Hungary, swimmers from Hungary.
And the 2025 championships will return to the RTV network.
We have 2 swim teams on Freeport, and we have another one in Abaco, and they're coming down, but all of their family members cannot travel, right? So they are so happy.
Now those championships are set to begin on Thursday, with the opening ceremony scheduled for Friday evening. Be sure to tune in to the RTV network for live coverage every night beginning at 6 p.m. on channels 205 and 212, and also streaming live on the RTV Originals and Our News Facebook pages. Reporting for Our News from the Betty Kelly Ketting Aquatic Center, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Thanks, Sasha. VJ Edgecombe is projected to be a top 5 pick in the upcoming 2025 NBA draft. He had a workout this week, and he's pushing to move his draft stock up even more. 6'4" combo guard from Bimini has made a big impression in the city of brotherly love. The Sixers held a private workout with VJ Edgecombe last week, and according to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the team is so impressed with Edgecombe that they plan on taking him with the number 3 pick in the draft. Ace Bailey was previously thought to be a lock for the number 3 pick, but the Sixers were enamored with Edgecombe's impressive work ethic, defensive tenacity, and the poise and maturity he showed in his interviews and in his workouts, according to Fisher. The 15 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists he averaged in his lone season at Baylor, along with his improved jump shot and freakish athletic ability, probably helped the case. Sixers have a very crowded backcourt situation with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain returning and Quentin Grimes as an unrestricted free agent. But VJ has shown with the Bahamas national team and at Baylor that he is unselfish and versatile enough to fit in whatever the situation he's thrown into. And we're 11 days away from finding out where VJ will play. The draft is June 25th at 8 p.m. Tune in early because he won't be on the board too long. Now we're on to the Diamond. It's June and last night was Friday night, which means we're deep into the baseball season. Here's how our guys did on the Diamond. Mets first base coach Anton Richardson and his team took a rare loss, falling 7-5 to the Tampa Bay Rays. Danny Jansen smacked a home run for the Rays. Down in the minors, Texas Rangers prospect Sebastian Walcott went 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and an RBI to put his AA Frisco Rough Riders over the top 3-2 against the Midland Rockhounds. And BJ Murray went 0 for 1 with a walk before his Knoxville Smokies game was suspended because of some bad weather. Jazz Chisholm sat out for the Yankees. He came back from injury last week, but he exited Thursday night's game because of some hamstring tightness. So his team is being cautious. They lost 2-1 to the Boston Red Sox. And hopefully Jazz can make it back to the field soon and stay there. Before we go, JJ and the Liberty played the Indiana Fever earlier today. We'll have the highlights for you tomorrow. Until then, I'm Tej Adderley, and this is Our Sports Weekend.
Thanks so much, Tej. On the other side of this break, Ian McKenzie joins us from the Weather Center with a look at your weekend temperatures. Stick with us.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I say to myself,
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. Sunny skies and comfortable temperatures earlier this afternoon. Here's meteorologist Ian McKenzie with a look at conditions across the country. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast on this gorgeous evening. Currently outside our studios, we're under intermittent clouds with a temperature of 84. Winds are from the east at 13 miles per hour. Feels like still very warm at 90 degrees. Temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city. We have 84s continuing in Allenstown, Great Abaco, Nicholstown, and in the capital. A pair of 83s in Marsh Harbor and in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. Central Bahamas, 84s continuing in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. 83s in Black Point, Arthurstown, Cobentown, and in Port Nelson, Rum Key. Southeast Bahamas, 83 in Duncantown, 84s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, and in Abrahams Bay, as well as Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. The hotspot this evening is Matthewtown, coming in at 86. Satellite and radar imagery at this time, we have a broad area of high pressure across our area, and that will continue to suppress any type of shower activity. So get out, enjoy, especially tomorrow on Father's Day. In terms of hurricane forecasting across the main development region at this time, tropical conditions are extremely quiet, and this is primarily due to hostile conditions in the form of Saharan dust and strong upper level winds. However, this area in the southern portion of the Gulf of Mexico, they're giving it about a very low chance between June 19th and 21st for possible tropical cyclone development. In the northwest and central Bahamas, boating forecast winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. High tide at 11 p.m., low tide at 5:34 a.m. tomorrow morning. Southeast Bahamas winds are stronger. We have a caution in place for you boaters, and there is a risk of rip currents for you swimmers. Winds will be east to southeast 15 to 20, seas running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Taking a look now at your extended forecast. Gorgeous Father's Day expected pretty much through most of the week. We can enjoy lots of sunshine, but however, we advise you to remain hydrated and not to stay outdoors for any extended periods of time. Expect those temperatures to soar into the upper 80s, low 90s, with your low temperatures hanging around the upper 70s, low 80s. That's a wrap evening forecast. Happy early Father's Day to everyone out there. Enjoy the weekend, but be safe.
Thanks so much, Ian. Well, forget the socks and ties. This Father's Day, some Grand's Bahamian dads are getting big gifts thanks to Dolly Madison Home Center. Our news anchor, Kendino Knowles, is on assignment in Grand Bahama and tells us more.
The long-standing Freeport business Dolly Madison Home Center decided to show some extra love to the men of the moment, offering 25% off store-wide, plus a chance to win a grill bundle with any minimum $100 purchase. The winner was drawn today, but store president Devon Archer says lots of dads are walking away with smiles.
We go after gadgets, TVs, speakers, amplifiers, fishing equipment, boating equipment. And so we have a huge variety, just as simple as tool sets, drills. All of these are why we decided to do a full event for Father's Day.
And it seems families came ready to splurge. According to Archer, this week alone, they sold several 75-inch TVs and 2 even bigger than that.
We literally sold 5 75-inch TVs and 2 85-inch TVs. So that's going to be a happy father or a happy family.
And it wasn't just electronics flying off the shelves. Outdoor coolers, tools, and fishing gear were also top picks. The kind of gifts that say, relax, enjoy, and maybe fix something while you're at it. On top of the sale, every 10th man who walked through the doors got an extra 5% off just for showing up. For Archer, it's not just about sales. He says Dolly Madison has been here for Grand Bahamians through the tough times, and this is just one way of giving back.
What we've tried to do is, like today we have a Father's Day sale going on. We've tried to have as many sales as we can that doesn't affect, or hopefully would not affect their pockets so much, where we can still have customers come in, get what they want, and not kind of break the bank, if you want to call it.
A simple gesture from a business that's grown with the community, helping dads feel seen, appreciated, and maybe even the king of the grill this weekend. Reporting from Grand Bahama with Happy Father's Day wishes from Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
Great initiative. Thank you for that, Candino. And thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepard here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.